Hi guys, it's Jen. Um, Again, I apologize for my voice. I'm so sorry. I'm losing my voice for some reason. I have no clue. Anyways, I promised you guys a video where we could talk a little bit about that man named Jesus. So, people always ask me, well, what do you consider yourself? Are you a Christian? Are you Catholic? Blah, blah, blah. Because I was raised Catholic, Roman Catholic. And then I went to a Christian school that was a private school for 8 years. And then in high school and beyond high school, I took a world religions course, and then on my own, I studied religions most of my life, my adult life. So I have found truths and deceptions in all religions. And might I remind you that all religions are constructed by man. Okay? The closest I have found to what I would consider to be the truth, the best way that I see it, would be Ethiopian Christianity. That's the closest I found. So I got confirmation that yes, this is the right video to do. So earlier in my prayer meditation today, I used my personal Bible that I always use, and I do what I always do, ask for a specific message, and I set my intent in my heart, and then I flipped open my Bible, and I turned to the book of John, and I turned to John 8, and I was guided to chapter 8, verse 12. And right before I hopped on camera here, I did the same thing, set my intent, and I said, well, what message should I give tonight? What should I talk about? And please guide me. And lo and behold, what do I turn to? Yep, you guessed it. So, you can't make this stuff up. So I'm just going to read this I'm sitting on something here. Sorry about that. Excerpt out of John chapter 8, and I'm going to start at verse 12. Again, Jesus spoke to them, saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not work in darkness, but will have the light of life. So the Pharisees said to him, You are bearing witness about yourself. Your testimony is not true. Jesus answered, Even if I do bear witness about myself, my testimony is true. For I know where I came from and where I am going, but you do not know where I come from or where I am going. You judge according to the flesh. I judge no one. Yet, even if I do judge, my judgment is true. For it is not I alone who judge, but I and the Father who sent me. In your law it is written that the testimony of two people is true. I am the one who bears witness about myself, and the Father who sent me bears witness about me. They said to him, therefore, Where is your Father? Jesus answered, You know neither me nor my Father. If you knew me, you would know my Father also. These words he spoke in the treasury, as he taught in the temple, but no one arrested him because his hour had not yet come. So he said to them again, I am going away, and you will seek me, and you will die in your sin. Where I am going, you cannot come." So the Jews said, "Will he kill himself, since he says, 'Where I am going, you cannot come'?" He said to them, "You are from below. I am from above. You are of this world. I am not of this world. I told you that you would die in your sins, for unless you believe that I am he, you will die in your sins." So they said to him, "Who are you?" Jesus said to them, "Just what I have been telling you from the beginning. I have much to say about you and much to judge, but he who sent me is true, and I declare to the world what I have heard from him." They did not understand that he had been speaking to them about the Father. So Jesus said to them, "When you have lifted up the Son of Man, then you will know that I am he, and that I do nothing on my own authority, but speak just as the Father taught me. And he who sent me is with me. He has not left me alone, for I always do the things that are pleasing to him." As he was saying these things, many believed in him. So that is the way I try to answer when people ask me to box my belief and spiritual system. And I don't conform to a religion. I don't have a label preference. I have a spiritual relationship. And I tell my kids all the time, God, it doesn't care. It doesn't matter what comes out of your mouth. Talk, 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 talk. God reads the intent in your heart and the intent in your mind. So words and actions of having to do all these different things or recite these prayers, which reciting prayers is a beautiful thing. If you pray the rosary, let's say, and you are kneeling and you are deep in prayer, bead to bead, praying your rosary, you are in meditation. That's a beautiful thing. But prayer isn't just reciting the same memorized verses over and over and over on repeat. God specifically asks for us to come to him, her. God is all things, everything. God says, "Come to me in all things," not just, in those moments when our life sucks and everything's going wrong and we're like, "Oh God, please." We all do that. It's the first one we go to when something goes wrong. But when something awesome happens and you're so happy and you want to tell everybody and you can't wait to share your good news, who's the one we always leave out, right? So, as Jesus was saying he was the light of this world, it's like a lamp leading others through a dark passageway. And that light is the truth. That's what the light represents. Light, like a light worker or a light warrior, or when people say love and light, I wish you love and light. Light is wisdom of God, wisdom from God. That wisdom is truth. It is an absolute. So what Jesus was saying to them is, obviously, if anybody really knew who he was on the inside based on his character and how he treated other people, who he was behind closed doors as well as in front of the masses and multitudes of people? And then did he walk the walk or just talk the talk? So when he was teaching in the temples, did he act that way the other 6 days a week? And the answer is yes. And that's also what I try to teach my sons. See, I have 3 millennial, Gen Y and Gen Z sons, 21, 18, and 15. And because of the way that I was raised, Roman Catholic, very strict, church twice a week, classes to receive your communion and different things like that. 8 years in a private school that was Christian, run by a Southern Baptist church. Skirts, dresses all the time. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Don't take the Lord's name in vain. And you're like, oh God, detention. It just did a lot of damage, you know. So I didn't push religion on my kids, but I also feel that I didn't do the best that I could either on the flip side of that, because I didn't teach them enough spiritual truths at home even. But that's because I had never learned them. You would think Roman Catholic all throughout childhood into my teenage years and 8 years in a Christian school that I would know the Bible inside and out and everything, you know. No, because all they would have us do is memorize verses. Let's have a speed competition. Who can find Acts 4:2, you know, and you turn to it really quick. You're not learning the lesson or what's behind that verse. What is the meaning in the verse? You're just memorizing and then regurgitating the same doctrine over and over and over. So, no. Sorry about that. Cottonmouth. So I now know a lot more than I did back then when my kids were young. And that's part of the problem too, is that because I was so broken, they were broken. And my eldest son, he explored, you know, some different religious choices that maybe I didn't feel so comfortable with or I didn't agree with, but I still supported him and I listened to him, knowing that he is simply exploring things, learning about them so he can form his own conclusion. And I've done exactly that. Just a few years ago, as a matter of fact, I studied with 2 elderly women weekly. I studied the Jehovah's Witnesses because I was interested in that religion. So they came over to my house once a week and we had a Bible study, and it was just nice. And I learned how they, you know, perceive and see things and their translation, and it gave me a good respect for that. And that's what I try to do with all religions. And I don't conform to any. I just, I love to learn about them. And then I take the truth out of it and I leave the rest. So that is what I taught my kids. If you do anything else, I don't care if you never read another word written by anyone else in the Bible. If you just read the red letters of Jesus Christ, which were the words that he spoke, that's it. Leave everything else out. Leave out all the rest. Just the red letters. I would like... You can't debate the truth. And when you read the red letters, it's so simple. And the truth is plainly stated right there. So I just teach my kids, just follow that example. You don't have to claim a religion and say, well, I'm this label, I'm that label, I'm this label, I'm that label. And then I follow that up with, trust me, Mom knows, because I have a mountain of labels that I haul around, that have been given to me. Well, I don't haul them around anymore. I dumped that sack a long time ago, but yeah, mountain of labels. So, nah. Nope to the nopest nope. That's what I say. So, there's a little bit about Jesus. If anybody is interested, and they are seeking and they just want to know the truth. They just want to cut the crap and just understand the truth. Leave out all the doctrine and the myths and the falsehoods, because a lot of ancient scripture has been hidden, kept from the public's view, or misinterpreted, mistranslated, or purposely left things out, added things in, and we all know what it says about that. So, I mean, that was a choice that they made, and karma is up. That's all I can say. So I really want to start speaking on some spiritual truths. And I just literally recently, literally within the past 48 hours, came to find out that was my mission specifically. And I've been begging to know what it was for so long now. And I've had this YouTube channel a year and a half, or going on 2, something like that. I don't remember offhand, but I was speaking about these things way back when I first started this channel, which I was guided to start this channel. So when I said that some things were going down here very soon, and it's going to be a little bit scary, okay? I don't want anyone to be scared. That is my point. And I just got done telling someone earlier tonight that, my kids get mad at me all the time because they don't like hearing these things. They get scared, and then they get mad at me, or they won't answer the phone, or they'll ignore me. And then that hurts me because I'm kind of working against the clock, let's say. And I don't want to get into the time debate with anybody. I understand linear time and non-linear time. So I'm just saying everyone has a specific purpose, plan, goal, mission, dream, accomplishment, something. They have it written out, planned out, plotted out in life. That's your purpose. That's what you're going to do. And this is mine. So I have a specific amount of time to do certain things. And sometimes I am guided to share the information that I receive in my visions, or whatever you want to call them, channels, label it, whatever. I have a friend that receives her information, her downloads, her visions in dreams at night. And there are other people that astral travel or remote view, or are psychic mediums, or whatever. It's telepathy, man. So anyways, I just wanted to tell you guys that yes, some very important, very big things are coming. And I took that chance and that risk earlier in my previous video to state what I knew to be true to the best of my knowledge, as far as I have researched and studied it and come to know it, because it was given to me or shown to me in my relationship with God. And so with that, I also meant what else I said. With that comes with a lot of retaliation, because with the power of knowledge comes great responsibility, and you are tested and tried for the knowledge that you carry and hold within. And what you are able to discern is good to share, and what is good to withhold, and to whom and for not whom, and why. So, as many of you know, I had a death experience in 2018, July of 2018, where I had 3 grand mal seizures in 1 week. And when I fell, actually, I don't remember if it was the first, second, or third time, so I'm not even going to say. But it was on the concrete, and I fell backwards, and I cracked the back of my head and my skull. Literally, I had a golf ball size knot on the back of my head. And one of the other times, and I kid you not, that I fell with the seizure, out of the 3, I hit the front of my forehead, and I had a big knot, egg right here on the front of my forehead. So I'm thinking pineal pituitary, right? And the third time, I bit my tongue. I clamped down because I was convulsing so hard on the concrete that I split the side of my tongue, like literally like a serpent's tongue. And I had like foam and blood coming out of my mouth. And I had an out-of-body experience too with that death experience. Because my ex-boyfriend was with me at the time, and one of our friends in our neighborhood, and we were walking to the pizza restaurant. And I had my seizure right out front of the pizza store and on the concrete sidewalk. And I saw my ex like trying to do CPR and resuscitate me on the ground. And I saw my other friend like flipping out, walking around like, oh my God. Ah. I could just see like hand movements and stuff. And I saw that from like up above looking down. So all my life I have had the intuitive gift of seeing, and I guess people call that psychic ability or intuition or a sixth sense, or I don't know. Only for most of my life, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know anything. And I was very sheltered when I was growing up, and my parents didn't talk about any like off-limit adult topics, you know, that weren't good for kids. So I just always knew I was a little strange. a little. She says a little. A lot of strange. And I was very different from the rest of my peers and even my family and everything. So it wasn't until later on in my life that I came to know exactly what it was that was going on, and that the visions and the voices and everything like that was not a manifestation of my psyche indicating that I was insane or anything to that effect. It is an open line of communication that stays on 24/7. And it is just so finely tuned that it connects so easily that if you tune in or tap into that specific energy, you're instantaneously connected based on a frequency. So, I suffered a lot in my life for my gifts, which I spent my entire life believing were my curses. which were my intellect and my intuition, which were both very high scoring, and they were tested in many different ways when I was a child. And because I was different, I became the minority in my world. And believe me when I say, it is not women, it is not black people, it is not Muslims, it is not mentally challenged people. It is geniuses and gifted kids are like literally the minority in this world. And I am speaking from personal experience. No one is on your level. And I don't mean that to sound conceited or arrogant or anything. I never mean things to sound that way. And that's how it's always been perceived, is that I place myself on a pedestal or place myself higher than other people. And I don't. And I never have. I always wanted to be accepted, probably more than anyone else in this world. So, the things that I have learned intuitively far outnumber the things I have learned intellectually, academically. And everything I learn intuitively is given to me. It's not from me. That doesn't store memory, conscious memory. It draws on the subconscious or the superconscious, as they're now calling it, or the unconscious, whatever label, doesn't matter. That's your personal telecommunications base of operations. And just like the moon is the Earth's telecommunications base, that is why I guided everyone earlier to the book of Revelations in chapter 12, because if the sun is perhaps hypothetically, let's say for let's not argument's sake, because I'm non-confrontational, what if the sun, hypothetically, just exploring a possibility, so that is a theory. Some people call me a conspiracy theorist. Yes, but generally I'm just a theorist, a theoretical physicist. I explore quantum theories, meaning I explore as many possible outcomes, because that reduces your likelihood of error and it increases your likelihood of accuracy. So that's what I try to do. And the only way to do that is to explore every possible thing that you can. So yeah, I am a theorist, and conspiracy is real. There are many conspiracies that happen all over this world. We all know that. So exploring them, yes, I do. Because I like to know who's in charge. Who's in charge of my life. And for 43 years, they've done a sucky job, if I do say so myself, and I'm allowed to. Because I'm an American citizen, natural born, with the right of freedom of speech. So I have to tell you guys what I can tell you based on my research and what I know to be the truth, as far as I know it to be in my heart. And make sure you guys are all aware and prepared and safe and in the know and knowledgeable. And I just gift it. I hand it out and I say, here's what I got. If anybody wants to collab, I am more than happy to. I would love to. For my life, I've worked solo. Excuse me, sorry. me, myself, and I. So I would love to have like a team to just sit there in like a research lab and have files and computers and just access to all this information, and somebody that's like good with theology, and somebody that's good with numerology, astrology, somebody that's good with politics, somebody that's good with law, somebody that's good with history, all these things, right? And then group them all together, like just small group though, control group. Now I'm not talking a mass chaotic thing, like 20 people max in this room, and like the great minds of this world, right? And solve the problem. Solve the problems. Real quick. They're done. Okay, guys. Was that blink of your eye fast enough? So, yeah, anyways, I got sidetracked there. I like to bring humor into things, especially when there's a lot of fear or trepidation or anxiety or worry or panic. And I know that feeling, believe me. My eldest son is two states over from me. My other two are the next town over from me. My family is back home in Florida. And I'm like, oh, if I could just like be an octopus and like reach out to everybody and be there with everybody, right? Well, you know, so, okay, I'm going to cut this one. We're at 30 minutes, so I'm going to try to keep my videos at 30 or less. I'm going to do my best to, but I got to jam-pack some things for you guys because, like I said, the proverbial clock is ticking. The doomsday clock, that is, which was moved to 60 seconds to midnight. So, you know, I've worked some things out. In my next video, I'm going to get out the dry erase board that I showed you guys last week that I got. And I'm going to go through how I linked these breadcrumbs and puzzle pieces together and give you the links so that you can do your own research for yourself and find out the truth. Always seek the truth, because the truth always prevails. The truth will always prevail. And the truth is God. And God is love. Okay? And I love you. Peace, everybody.